For most of our lives, the world has operated on a pretty predictable set of rules, a system that was basically built right after the Cold War. But if you've been paying attention lately, you've probably felt it. That system is breaking apart. The old certainties, they're gone. So today we're going to dive into this huge global shift to try and understand what's really going on and, well, what it means for all of us.
And that really gets us to the absolute core question of our time. I mean, if the era of a single dominant superpower is really over, what's next? What does this new world order even look like? And as you're about to see, there are no easy answers here.
This right here. This captures the shift perfectly. On one side, you have the world we used to know. It felt stable, had one clear leader. And on the other side? That's our reality right now. A world that's fractured, a bit chaotic, and honestly, completely up for grabs. The old rulebook is being torn up, and a new one is being written right in front of us.
So how do we even begin to label this new era? Well, that's the first major problem. Experts are totally locked in what they call the Great Polarity debate, and frankly, they just can't seem to agree on the fundamental structure of the world we're all living in.
Okay, so the most popular theory is that we're now in a multipolar world. The easiest way to think about it is like a solar system that has a few different suns, right? Each one has its own gravitational pull. Power isn't just in one place anymore. It's spread out among major players like the US, China, Russia, and other rising economic giants, and they're all competing for influence.
But not everyone's buying that. There's a really compelling counter-argument that says, hey, hold on a second. If you look at raw military power, the kind of force that can reach anywhere on the globe, it's not a multipolar world at all. It's still a unipolar one. From this angle, the US is still in a league of its own, and there's no other country that's even in the same ballpark.
Then you have a third view. This one's a bit more radical. It basically says that all these labels, multipolar, unipolar, they're completely useless now. I mean, think about it. In our super-connected world, power isn't just about armies or GDP. A single cyber attack could cripple a nation, right? A disruption in one tiny part of a supply chain can cause global economic chaos. So in this new world, being the dominant power can actually become a huge vulnerability.
So with all this debate swirling around, what's actually driving these massive changes? Well, a huge piece of the puzzle is a dramatic, fundamental pivot in America's own foreign policy.
And at the heart of this whole thing is the America First doctrine. It's a major shift away from the old idea of spreading democracy around the world. The new approach is much more transactional, one that puts America's own economic and national interests above pretty much everything else.
And this quote, taken directly from the 2025 National Security Strategy, is, well, it's a bombshell. It's an official declaration that the era of America as the world's only leader is over. And get this, the document doesn't just say it's impossible, it says it's undesirable. That is a profound, incredible shift in thinking.
And this policy change is happening just as global perceptions are shifting in a big way. Check this out. For the first time ever, a Pew Research survey found that more people around the world actually see China, not the US, as the world's leading economic power. Yeah, the gap is small, but the trend, the direction it's headed, is unmistakable.
So, as these old power structures start to weaken, a whole new group of nations is stepping up to fill the void. They're being called the swing states, and they are quickly becoming the new power brokers on the global stage.
Now, don't mistake these for just middle powers. No. These are regional giants, and they are rewriting the rules of diplomacy. They absolutely refuse to pick a side in the big US-China competition. Instead, they're playing both sides against each other to get the absolute best deal for themselves. It's a whole new game.
And here are the key players in this new game. You've got India with its active multi-alignment. They're buying Russian oil one day and then doing military drills with the US the next. You have Turkey carving out its own strategic autonomy, brokering deals in Ukraine while also challenging its NATO allies. And other major players like Brazil, Saudi Arabia, Indonesia, and South Africa, they're all making their own unique moves. Each one is playing a different game, but they have one thing in common. They are refusing to be a pawn in someone else's.
So, if the old rules are gone, and we've got all these new players on the field, where is this new great game actually being played? Well, the answer is increasingly on two major fronts: technology and natural resources. Okay, first up, tech. The idea of a single global tech world, it's over. A technological iron curtain is coming down, and you can see it most clearly in the world of semiconductors. The global supply chain is literally being ripped in two, with the US and its allies on one side and China on the other. This whole battle for tech supremacy, it's all about controlling who can make the most advanced AI chips. The strategy is to create these choke points in the supply chain, and it focuses on 3 key areas: the ridiculously complex machines that print the chip designs, the precision tools that etch those designs onto silicon, and the advanced tech that packages it all into a final, powerful chip.
And the prize for winning this tech war? It's just massive. By 2026, the market for these advanced AI chips is expected to be worth an incredible $300 billion. So this isn't just about national security. It's about controlling the engine of the entire 21st century economy.
The second major battleground is the fight for the raw materials that power our modern world. We're seeing this surge in what's called resource nationalism. Basically, countries with huge reserves of critical minerals, think lithium, nickel, cobalt, are starting to flex their muscles. They're using things like export bans to seize control of these resources, which are essential for everything from our smartphones to electric vehicle batteries.
But this strategy, it is a high-stakes gamble. Indonesia is the perfect example. Their ban on raw nickel exports, it was a huge success. It forced foreign companies to pour billions into building processing plants right there in Indonesia. But then they tried the same thing with bauxite, and it totally backfired. Buyers just went and found other suppliers. It's a powerful reminder that in this world of resource nationalism, timing and leverage are absolutely everything.
Okay, so we've seen how the world order is shifting, we've got new players and new battlegrounds. But what does this all mean in the real world? Well, it means more instability and a lot more potential for conflict. Let's take a look at some of the most dangerous flashpoints where all this tension is boiling over.
In Europe, the war in Ukraine has been a complete seismic shock. It has totally upended the security setup that had been in place since the Cold War ended. NATO is under incredible strain, and European leaders are being forced to ask a question they've been avoiding for decades. What does it actually mean to defend themselves if they can't fully rely on the United States?
And this tells such a powerful story. In just 1 year, Ukrainian trust in the United States was cut in half. Delays in military aid and all the political fighting have had a devastating impact on how Ukrainians see their most important ally. It's just a stark reminder that in wartime, promises matter, and broken promises have very real, very tragic consequences.
Meanwhile, the Middle East is an absolute tinderbox. The uneasy pause between Israel and Iran is holding on by a thread. There are no off-ramps, no channels to de-escalate, and with Iran's nuclear program quietly advancing in the background, the entire region is just one miscalculation away from a catastrophic war.
So, here we are. We're in the middle of this great unraveling. The old world order is gone, and a new one is being forged in the fire of competition and conflict. The future is totally unwritten, and the stakes could not be higher. The question isn't just who will write the next chapter, but what kind of world will they create? And maybe more importantly, what role will we as citizens of that world play in shaping it?